Hello, and here we are at lesson 11. We are continuing working with line plots today. I put some pictures for you. Don't worry, in this time of stress, I want everybody to keep calm and do the math. And here's a picture of me on my horse. That's my happy place. I'm smiling. This is my friend Sherry over here. Thought I would show you a couple things. Make you smile, hopefully. Let's get started with our lesson. So here's our first line plot today. Let's look at the title of our line plot. The class planted flowers and set them in the window. After 3 weeks, they measured the height of the different flowers and created a line plot. Now, right away when I look at this line plot, what's jumping out at me is that some of the measurements are missing. Okay, so for what I mean is there is no measurement here. There's no measurement here, there's no measurement here, there's no measurement here, and there's no measurement here. But this does tell us that plants are measured to the nearest ½ inch. So we're not always going to have this little hint right here though. So how do we know if measurements are missing, how do we know? Okay, well, we always count the spaces between the whole numbers. How many equal pieces are between the whole numbers? We've got between the 3 and the 4, we have 1, 2 pieces. Between the 4 and the 5, we have 2 pieces. Between the 5 and the 6, we have 2 pieces. And between the 6 and the 7, we have 2 pieces. So, if they are dividing the whole numbers into 2 pieces, that means that 2 is our denominator. We're working with halves. So if we don't know what a missing measurement is, for instance, if this is 3 and this is 4, then this spot right here has got to be the first one out of 2. So this is where your half is. So that's 3.5. There's 2 spaces. This is the first space out of 2. 1 over 2, a half. If this is 4, then this is 4.5. If this is 5, what's this? 5.5. Again, you should have pencil and paper. I don't expect you to copy this line plot though. That would be too much. Don't do that. But in a minute, we're going to do some math. All right, so this is 6. So what is this? You guessed it, 6.5. All right, let's look at our questions. What is the most frequent height for a plant? Okay, here's a word, new word for us. Frequent. Frequent means happening the most. What is the most frequent thing that you eat for dessert? That means what do you eat for dessert the most? So this is what is the most frequent height for a plant. So we should be looking at where the most x's are, because what does each x stand for? Each x stands for one plant that measured that height. So we're looking for where the most x's are. They're here at 5.5. So the most frequent height for a plant is 5.5. Okay, and you'll see in a minute, it's not always halves. It can be fourths and eighths, okay? What is the total height of the plants that measured less than 5 inches? Okay, so where are plants that measured less than 5 inches? They would be to the left of the 5. They would be here. So what is the total height of those plants? Well, how many 4.5s do we have? We have 2. So you should be adding 4.5 twice, please. You're writing an equation. And then we also have how many plants that measured 4? 1. Make sure your whole numbers are lined up under each other. Okay, 1/2 gives you 1. You should be working this out. 4, 8, 12. Plus the 1 is 13. What is the total height of the plants that measured less than 5 inches? 13 inches. Okay, what is the height of the plant that it measured between 4 and 5 inches? What is the height of the plants that measured between 4 and 5 inches? Well, here's 4 and here's 5. That measured between 4 and 5 inches. Well, the only height between 4 and 5 inches is what? 4.5. What is the height of the plants that measured between 4 and 5 inches? That height is 4.5 inches. Okay, let's look at a different one. All right, here we have again plants that are measuring. We're measuring the height of plants, except now instead of measuring to 1/2 inch, we are measuring to what? Count how many spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 spaces between the 3 and the 4. We're working with fourths. We're working with fourths. What is the most frequent? Oh, there's that word again. It means happens the most. What is the most frequent height of a plant? I'm waiting for you to answer. Well, the 5 inches happen the most. It has 3 plants. So, what is the most frequent height of a plant? 5 inches. What is the difference? That means, what does it mean? What does it mean? It means to subtract. What is the difference between the tallest and the shortest? All right, where's our tallest? All the way farthest to the right. Here's our tallest. Where's our shortest? The farthest one to the left. Okay, so what is the difference? What are we going to do with those two heights? We're going to subtract them. Okay, well, what's this height? I don't know. There's nothing on there. Well, here's the 6, and we notice that between the 6 and the 7, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. This X is on the first out of 4 spaces. So that's got to be 6 1/4 is our tallest plant. It's the first out of 4 spaces. Okay, what's our shortest? Our whole number's 3. There's 3 1/4, 3 2/4, 3 3/4. Oh, I see something happening here. Oh, they just threw something else in on you. You're going to have to regroup. You can't take 3/4 away from 1/4. So you know what? I'm going to erase this and I'm going to write it vertically. Why did I write it vertically? So that I could do what? So I could regroup. Because you can't take 3/4 from 1/4. We're taking all the things we've learned with fractions and we are incorporating them into line plots. So we have to borrow. Okay, that whole 4/4 gets put on with the 1/4. That gives us 5/4. So now we have 5/4 minus 3/4. And we have 5 minus 3. All right, so what's the difference between the tallest and the shortest plant? We just showed our work. We wrote a subtraction equation, and it was 2 2/4. All right, one more for this line plot. How many plants measured between 4 and 5 inches? So we want between. Here's my 4, here's my 5. We want between 4 and 5 inches. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, that was fourths. Let's look at another line plot. All right, here's another line plot. Plants that measured to 1/8 of an inch. How do we know it's eighths? Because there's 8 equal pieces between the whole numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, what is the difference between the tallest and the shortest plant? We need to find our tallest plant measurement and our shortest plant measurement. Here's our tallest plant measurement. Here's our shortest plant measurement. We should be writing a subtraction equation because of the word difference. So this is going to be 5 1/8, 5 2/8, 5 3/8, 5 4/8, 5 5/8. 4 1/8 minus 4 1/8. I can do this easy peasy. I do not have to regroup. 5 minus 1 is 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. So the difference between the tallest and the shortest plant is 1 4/8 inches, or 1 1/2, because 1 1/2 is equivalent to 4/8. Okay, we're almost through. How many plants measured 4 6/8 inches? Well, I don't see 4 6/8 on there. Well, you're going to have to figure out where it's at. 4 1/8, 4 2/8, 4 3/8, 4 4/8, 4 5/8, 4 6/8. How many plants measured 4 6/8 inches? 3. All right. What is the total height of all of the plants? Okay, now you're going to have to add. Each one of these X's stands for a measurement. So you're going to have to add. I'm going to erase to give us some room. All right, so how many numbers should we have in this addition problem? Well, we should have a measurement for each plant. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We should be adding 10 mixed numbers or fractions together because there's 10 plants in this line plot. All right. So our first one is 4 1/4. Okay. 4 1/4, 4 2/4, 4 3/4, 4 4/4. No, I'm sorry. Why are we doing fourths? We're not doing fourths, we're doing eighths. I hope some of you noticed the mistake I was making. All right, 4 1/8 plus. So if this is 1/8, 4 1/8, 4 2/8, 4 3/8, 4 4/8. Now, how many 4 4/8 do we have? We're looking right here, 4 4/8. We have 1, 2, so we need another 4 4/8. All right, then we have, so if this is 4 4/8, 4 5/8, 4 6/8, this is, these 3 X's represent 4 6/8. There's 3 of them. All right, this is going to be part 1. I'm going to pause here. You should have this equation written. We're not done. We've only written the fractions or the mixed numbers that represent from here over to here. We still have the other half of the line plot, all of these plants to represent and add together. Okay, you should have this equation written down.